So, the other issue is the Kajuru kidnap of 177 Christians who were worshiping in three different churches in Kajuru local government of Kaduna State. Part of the interview of Daniel Boala, he was asked about the action, what the Kaduna State government did, initially denying that the kidnap did happen. Later, the commissioner of police had to accept. Nigeria police said it did happen. So that interview, Daniel Boala said it was a mistake on the part of the government of Kaduna State to say it didn't happen before actual investigation was done. And then the BBC reporter also made a report where she went to the place to find out for herself, and she also spoke with the governor of Kaduna State. I just want to say that I'm not surprised, because it is the position of federal government and state government, not only in security matter. Anytime there is an issue that puts the government in bad light, it is usually the default position of the government to either downplay it, hide it, or misrepresent things that will make them look bad. It happened in COVID. During the COVID 2020, there are some states that they had COVID patients, they had COVID cases, but they were denying that they didn't have. They didn't want, they just felt that, if we say we have a COVID patient in our state, it will put our state in bad light. Some states have, like Kaduna, they made strides in fighting insecurity. And then you now have this unfortunate situation whereby many people were kidnapped. And then there appeared to be a deliberate effort. There appeared to be a deliberate effort to hide the fact that incident took place. That is usually the default position of government. I've seen it. Even in this issue of insecurity, and all that, journalists have reported difficulty in reporting certain things, where you have government officials stopping journalists. You have security agents stopping journalists from accessing certain places. That they don't want certain things to come out, especially considering the pressure from the US, and seeing that these were Christian worshippers in church when they were abducted. It looks bad on the state government, and it looks bad on Nigeria. When it comes out, it looks bad. And so there was this, effort to hide it, cover it up, because it's happened before, and that is usually the default position. The reason why, people in government find it easy to do this, because they've been doing it before. If any state government, anywhere, federal government, anywhere they want to keep some things under wraps, they have a way of doing it. Because who will send out the information? Journalists. They can stop journalists from accessing the place. Then there can be inducement. They can induce certain local officials so that they persuade people there not to speak to anybody about it. So they have ways of doing it. It's something they've done before. It has happened before. Even in Kaduna State, it has happened. Even in other administrations before this one, it has happened. If they want to keep things under wraps, they have a way of doing it. You understand? And that is why it was easy for them to do this. And then it now became a fiasco. when the information now came out, the police had to say this thing did happen, and then the state governor had to go there and all of that. You know, I've seen situations whereby, me personally, I always believe that it's better to say the truth. Sometimes government will say they don't want to make people to panic. Look at what happened in Borno State. The dam that overflowed and flooded the city of Meduguri in Borno State. Before the dam overflowed, people that were living close to the dam or walking close to the dam also, they noticed that there's an issue, you know. And the concern was so much that the governor was not in the state at that time. A high power delegation was sent to the place. Journalists were sent to the dam for inspection and all that. You know. Then they gave the people assurances that all was well until the dam broke and the water overflooded the city of Meduguri. People were caught unawares late in the night, and people would have lost their lives because of that. Imagine that the government had taken it, the government had owned up to the fact there is an issue and tried to warn people to be prepared. Because the worst thing that can happen to anyone is to be caught unprepared. You know. So the government saying they don't want to panic people and all that. At the end of the day, people were caught unawares. You know, and imagine the frustration of that. So in this instance, they say they don't want to panic people. People have been taken into the bush, have been taken, and they need to be rescued. You know, the families of the loved ones left behind are mourning, are in agony, in pain. The family of those who were affected, are they not aware? The relations, are they not? They were aware. So not reporting it, not talking about it, will not make the pain go away. It's not going to solve any issue. Two things can be right. You could be making efforts at curbing insecurity, right? Then there can be incidences that could occur in spite of the progress you have made. Because it's not possible for there to be security everywhere. So you have to acknowledge that. While acknowledging you made progress, there can be breakthrough incidents. That doesn't mean you didn't make progress. That doesn't mean you will not keep making progress. But there is a setback in this instance. The right thing to do is to acknowledge there is a setback and now see what you can do. You know, people need to trust their government. They need to have faith and believe what the government says. So if you say something now and later it's found to be untrue, and you now have to come back and reverse yourself, you lose the trust. Then there will be a trust deficit. When next time you come out and say nothing has happened, how will people believe you? People will still think that maybe you are trying to cover up something. You know. So that was really not good. And I'm happy the way Daniel Boala really spoke well in this interview with Megwa. You know, Daniel Boala is a good, even whether you like him or not, is a good spokesperson for anybody that speaks him. He's a very good and effective spokesperson. And if you unleash Daniel Boala, as in you give him freedom to really speak for you, could really do well. I don't really agree with everything he says. Even like this interview, what he said about Obi, I don't really agree with what he said. But he's a spokesperson for President Tinubu. He's a spokesperson for APC. So you don't have to expect him to say anything positive about opposition and stuff like that. But I love the way what Daniel Bola said about the Kajuru Kaduna issue. He said it was a mistake. that the government should not have made the statement that that incident did not occur even before they found out what really went down. From the interview, the BBC correspondent gave, both in Hausa and in Pidgin and in English, from that interview, we could see that the governor talked about going to Abuja when this issue happened to speak with the Minister of Defense and to speak with the National Security Advisor and all that. So it does appear that the governor knew right away that there was an issue, and he had to go and quickly talk to the NSA and the Minister of Defense, Christopher Musa, who former Chief of Defense Staff, who is from Kaduna State himself. Chris Musa is from Kaduna State. So he knows, he was former CDS and all that, so he knows about this. So I suspect the governor knew what happened. He went to Abuja to meet with those in the, because security architecture is under federal government. So he knew the seriousness of what happened. He went to talk with them, and then a decision was made to keep things on the down low. However, that decision was implemented, whether it was effectively communicated or not, that becomes an issue. And then again, you have to be honest. I don't buy this. Don't want people to panic. Truth should be truth. If you don't want to say something, there's a way you go about it. You don't want to say anything. You say something has happened. You are investigating. That's different. But saying it's fake news, saying that nothing like that happened, that's a different issue. You could say you are investigating. You could say you are looking into it. You could say security agencies are on top of the matter. But you don't come out and say it did not happen. Because eventually there's no way 177 people will be taken and it won't come out. That 177 people have hundreds or thousands of relations, friends, community members and others who would know that these people were taking it to the bush. So that level, that scale of security failure can't be hidden. It can't be hidden. It can't be covered up. So it was poor judgment for them to have done that in the first place. But we just hope that action is taken and those individuals are rescued.
The policy of this government in Kaduna State wouldn't pay ransom. I don't even believe in ransom at all. That is why I rush to the security agencies who have their responsibility to get these people back.
I went to Kuruminwali village, Kuruminwali community, and as I was trying to access that community, I had some issues at the entrance point. A certain politician and security officials tried to stop me from entering, and they threatened me. They said, if I go in, I will face consequences. And also the locals there that I spoke to said some officials have been trying to reach out to them to silence them. Tell me, Governor, is the government trying to hide something?
But you know my background. You may not know me. I spent many years as a civil rights activist. I'm someone who believes in justice, freedom. I fought for justice, to the extent that I was detained 5 times by successive governments in Nigeria. But wherever you are, whether in Nigeria or any country around the world, you will find people who are good and who are bad. We will investigate the situation, I assure you. But Uba Sani sitting with you here is a champion of democracy.
So you're saying you're not aware of that?
I am not aware of it, but all I know is that I was there this evening with you, but I didn't see that. But I'm happy you are informing me. And I can give you assurance that we are going to investigate that.
Governor Uba, the attack happened on Sunday, and you are just visiting Kurmenwali today, which is Wednesday, which is about 2 days after.
Yes, of course.
Why are you just visiting them now?
Because when it happens, the first thing I did was rushing to sit down with the necessary security agencies. I rushed to Abuja first to sit down with the National Security Advisor, to sit down with the Minister of Defense. When people are busy talking on social media, my concern is how do I rescue these victims? I can assure you, by the grace of God, our people will be returned safely. And when I went there, I saw people that were really injured. And even before I went there, I've already instructed the Commissioner of Health, but I just affirmed to them today that the government will handle everything that has to do with their welfare, including handling their medical bills and ensuring that they have the best medical attention. Not only that, we also have to ensure that they go through psychosocial treatment.
Can you tell me why, few days after the attack in Kurmenwali, there is still basically no security present at that village?
I was in Abuja talking to the Minister of Defense, Christopher Musa, and all the relevant security agents to ensure that we have adequate security presence there. Not only that, I also urge him to ensure that we have military base, considering the fact that they are just few kilometers away from Regina, which has always been an epicenter of insecurity along Abuja-Kaduna Road in the past. And of course, I've got a lot of assurance from the Minister of Defense as well as the National Security Advisor that security base, particularly the military base, will be established in the next few weeks.